Okay, hi. Alright, so in this video I will show you how to solve the steps, okay, for the ERO, okay, elementary row operation. So this example, I just take it from the slide, so you can refer to your slide, right? So example, even here the matrix A. So and the question asks you to reduce this matrix into row echelon form. Okay, so now I want to show how the process of reducing method lah, how reduce the matrix. Okay, alright. So this is your matrix A. Okay, so the first step. Okay. So this is the question lah. Okay, assume this is the question. So I write here another matrix A. Alright, okay, so now, okay, we want to reduce it, okay? So, as we refer to the slide just now, they have, we call it ERO, right? So, each elementary row operation, then they have three what we call three operation. First one is interchange, second one is the multiplication, and the third one is replacement. So, most of it, I mean for this reduction, row reduction, most of the time we will use the replacement. Okay, so now I want to show how we use it or the steps of this row reduction. Okay, so this is the matrix A. So we want to reduce it. Okay, we want to reduce it. Okay, but you need to remember the objective of the reduce it is we want to make it become row echelon form, or in this other word we can say we want to become upper triangular matrix, right? So upper triangular matrix means that the three number here, okay, the three number here, our objective is to make it this three number become 0. Okay, alright, so you need to make it 2, 1 and 1 here become 0, and you need to follow the sequence. What I mean by the sequence is you cannot jump to do it this one first. You tak boleh terus buat satu, because this number 1 is located at row number 3, right? So means sequence here is you need to do it row by row. So you need to start with the row 2 and then baru you jump baru you do it for row 3. Okay, and for the row 1 there is no changes. We didn't do anything in the row 1. So what we do for the new matrix that we should get here is you just write for the row 1 it doesn't changes anything, so you just write your row 1 exactly like the original one. So now we want to change row 2. Okay, we want to change row 2. We want to do it this pivot element first. Okay, this element, this number. So row 2 will be having a changes. Row 3 it still remain the same. Okay, it still remain the same for row 3. So now, okay, row 2. So for this part they have operation from here to here. They have operation. So operation that you need to do is what we call replacement. Okay, so what we do first, okay, you look at this number 2 is located at row 2. Okay, and then you plus. Okay, I do it for the third one, the what we call the row replacement, row replacement operation. So R2 plus M1. Okay, I use M1. Okay, M1 to indicate that this one for the first part, the first operation, because you have another 2 later on. So we classify as M1. Okay, and then multiply with R. Okay, I have a question mark here first. Okay, which row that you should use? Because you have row 1 and also row 3, right? Another 2. You left with row 1 and row 3. So which row that you need to choose? Okay, the criteria for the row that you will choose is the above the pivot. For example, this is the pivot element here, which is 2. You want to change 2, right? So 2 is located at row 2, and then above it Okay, just take it the above it. So means that row 2, so you take it row 1. Okay, so this is row 1. Okay, and we want to make it these 2 become 0. Okay, we want to make it these 2 become 0. Okay, so yang tak perlu lagi lah. Okay, tak perlu lagi. Right, so now just leave it first. R2 plus M1 R1. So R2, your R2 here is 2 plus your M1. So you still didn't know what is your M1. Okay, times with R1. What is your R1 just now? Your R1 is negative 1. And this equation equal to 0. Why? Because we want to make it, or we want to change these 2 become 0, right? Okay, so just equal to 0. Okay, so now this is 8, right? Sorry, bukan. This is 2. Okay, this is 2. Okay, minus M1 equal to 0. So now what is your M1? What is your M1 here? Your M1 is 2. Okay, therefore, okay, now you substitute back your M1 here. So therefore, this operation would be R2 plus 2R1. Okay, you just replace 2, you replace 2 into your M1 just now. Okay, so now we want to use this operation to change the row number 2. Okay, so okay, we already know that 2 now it becomes 0, so you do not have calculate anything, but you can try. You can just substitute back. So let's say by using this formula, by using this one, your R2 is 2 plus 2 times R1. So 2 minus negative 2, so become 0, right? Okay, so you get 0 here. So now you proceed to the second number. Okay, one more thing. Even though your objective is to change 2, your objective is just want to change 2 become 0, but you cannot neglect the rest. You tak boleh abaikan yang lain. Yang lain tu maksudnya selebihnya row ni. You still kena calculate all. Okay, the whole row. The whole row you can calculate. But our objective is to make it this one 0. So the rest kat sini tak kisah you nak dapat nombor apa pun, tapi you need to change the whole row. Okay, so now you repeat the same thing. So for this one, negative 1 plus 2 times, okay, negative 1. Okay, this is row 2, so negative 1 plus 2 times R1. Oh, the R1 here is 2. Okay, the R1, the number above it, the number atas negative 1 ni adalah 2. So negative 1. Okay, kalau you tak nampak, you can write lah. Okay, tak perlu nak memorize, takut you careless. So negative 1 plus 2. Your R1 here is 2, right? So you get 0. Sorry, you get 0, right? So then you get what? 4 minus 1, so you get 3. So this new value here is 3. Okay, so then you proceed with the third value here. It's 6 plus 2 times R1. So 6 minus 10, you get negative 4. So the new value here is negative 4. So then you complete for the first stage. Okay, this is your new matrices. Okay, but you didn't finish yet. You tak habis lagi. Kenapa saya kata tak habis lagi? Because you have another 2 numbers that you didn't get 0 yet lah. Okay, make sure dia kena 3 ni kosong, baru you habis. Okay, but now we still have another 2 numbers that we didn't do yet. So now our objective is to do this number. Okay, remember I say just now you did row by row. Okay, so now these 2 number lies in the same row, right? Same row. So the priority now is on the column. So bila dia row yang sama, so kita priority pada column pula. So column yang pertama kita akan buat dulu. So this number is located at column 1, right? So we we change this one first, then baru kita transform this one, right? Okay, so the same step. Okay, the same step. So like I said that the rest, it doesn't have any changes. You just want to make it changes on row number 3. Therefore, for row 1 and row 2, it's remain the same. Remain the same means you take it from the new matrices. not this one. This one the original one. Then you transform to this. So the third one you take it from here, not from here. Okay, this one dah tak guna. Okay, this one dah tak guna. You need to use the matrices that you update. Okay. Okay, setiap kali you dah update ataupun dah dapat matrix baru, we will take it that one. Okay. So for row number 3. So let's say we want to make it this figure become 0. So you just can write directly this one will be 0. This one will become 0. So now you do it the same thing like we do just now. Okay, we want to find out the m. So this number 1 is located at row number what? Row number 3. Okay, and then plus with m2. Okay, I use m2 lah to differentiate lah between m1 and m2. Okay, you can use any alphabet, doesn't matter, tak ada masalah. Tapi as long as you understand which one the first one just now, which one the second one, which one the third one later on. Okay, supaya you tak careless lah. So I use m2 to represent the second processes. Okay, the second process. So m2. Okay, times with r what? Okay, r berapa ni? Kita sekarang tengah buat untuk R3. So you have another two one, row 1 and row 2. And if you still remember what I said just now, the criteria that we choose is the R above it, row yang berada di atas pivot. So this is the row 3. So di atasnya adalah kosong dan ia berada pada row nombor 2. But you cannot take row number 2. Even though atas dia saya cakap tadi, tapi you cannot take row number 2 for this one. Why? Because row number 2 is 0. Kalau lah, saya bagi contoh, if you take row number 2, so now this is 1. Okay, your m2 you did not know yet, so we want to find out your m2, and then row number 2 is 0. So what's the answer that you get? 1, right? Suppose you should get 0. Suppose we want to make it become 0, our objective, right? Therefore, you cannot take row number 2. You cannot take row number 2. So maksudnya tak boleh take row yang mana atas dia kosong, tak boleh, because your objective is to get m2. So when your m2 times is 0, you didn't get your m2 lah. You tak ada apa value untuk m2, so cannot. Okay, tak boleh. So this is cannot be done. So what we do is, okay, this is in R3 plus M2, but now your R is R1. Okay, atas dia kosong kan, so suppose you need to take it the row that have a value lah. So we doesn't have any choice, so we choose R1. Okay, so R3 just now is located at row 3, 1 is located at R3. Plus your m2, we still didn't know yet the value for m2, and your r1 here is negative 1. And this equation must be equal to 0. So therefore, your m2 is equal to 1. So your m2 is equal to 1. So here the equation is r3 plus r1. Saya tulis R3 plus R1 lah, tak payahlah tulis satu kat depan kan, betul, tak payahlah tulis satu ni. So we know that this is R3 plus 1R1, so R1 tak payah tulis pun tak apa. So R3 plus R1, this is the operation replacement ataupun formula yang kita akan guna to find out the others two number. Okay, the others two number, how to find out? Sama lah macam tadi saya tunjuk, macam ni. Okay, maksudnya, okay, now we want to make it 1. Okay, we want to change 1, the new number of this. So 1 is located at row 3 plus your m just now is 1, right? Okay, your r1 here, your r1, this is your r1, is equal to 2. So 1 plus 2 is become 3. So this is 3. Okay, this is 3. Okay, now we want to change this one, 3. So 3 plus 1 times with negative 5, and we get 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So this will be negative 2. So this is the latest matrix, but this is not the final yet. Okay, you get this latest matrix, but this is not the final answer yet. Because of what? Because of this is still not equal to 0 yet. Okay, sebelum dapat kosong lagi kan. So you cannot stop until here. You need to do another one, another step of row replacement operation. Okay, so okay, I write here lah. I write here. So from this matrix, the latest that you get here. Okay, so we want to change this number. We want to change 3. Okay, 3 is located at row number 3 plus M3. Okay, I use M3 now. R2. Okay, because of atas dia, above this row 3, they have a value. Dia ada value 3, so bukan kosong. So kita ambil atas dia, exactly lah atas dia. So for row 3, okay, we want to find out what is your M3. So row 3 is 3 plus M3. What is your row 2? Your row is 3, and this equation equal to 0. So then you should get 3 M3 equal to 0. So your M3 is equal to negative 1. Negative 1. So therefore the row operation, the row replacement operation here is R3 minus R2. Minus. Okay, kenapa minus? Sebab it's come from R3 plus negative 1 R2, right? So instead of you write like this, you can just write R3 minus R2. Okay, so now the new matrix, or this will be the last matrix that you should get. Okay, so the row number 1, row number 2 will remain. Okay, tak ada masalah. For this 2 row is remain lah. Okay, so now the changes is on row number 3. And for the first one, the value also doesn't have any changes because memang kita punya objektif nak jadikan kosong kan. So just write directly what you get here is 0. So write here 0. So now we want to change 3 and 2. 3 and negative 2. So we start first with 3. We know that our objective to replace it becomes 0. So you can change directly, it becomes 0. Okay, actually tak adalah, bukan saja tu kosong, kita dah tunjukkan dah pun. Okay, 3 ni kosong. Okay, so you left with the last one, negative 2. So negative 2 is located at row 3 minus R2. So your R2 here negative 4. Okay, so you should get negative 2 plus 4. We get 2. So this is the final answer. Okay, this is the row echelon form that you should get. The last one. Okay, so you can refer to the slides. Okay, this is the answer that you should get. Okay, so I repeat again, or I summarize it. Okay, what's meant by row echelon form is the 3 numbers here should be zeros. Okay, that one the first thing. So how the operation, how the process, we will use ERO. Okay, we will use ERO to reduce the matrix. Okay, so this is all about row operation, ERO, and also row echelon form. Okay, later on in the next video, I will show you what we call the methods. Okay, how to use the methods. So we have 3 methods, right? The first one, LU decomposition. The second one is Gauss Seidel. The third one is Gauss elimination. Okay, so all these methods will have a different approach, have a different steps. But for Gauss elimination, most of it ataupun the steps, the majority inside the step of inside the step of Gauss elimination, most of it is using this. So I will explain first Gauss elimination in the next video. Okay, alright, so then you can use, or you can try by yourself to solve example, the next one in the slides, and also the exercise for the row operation. Okay, for the ERO. Okay.